Yes. Okay, so shall I begin? Are we good to begin? Okay. All right. So, good morning, everyone. Welcome to this edition of SciComm Synapse. Today, we are truly honored to have with us Mr. Rafeeque Mavoor, a visionary founder of SciDart Academy, a pioneering platform dedicated to empowering researchers through scientific illustration and communication. Rafiq's journey is an inspiring one. He began as a chemistry graduate from ISER Trivandrum, but soon discovered his passion for science communication and visual storytelling. What started with a single 3D representation for research paper has grown into a full-fledged mission to transform how science is communicated. Through SciDart Academy, he has trained over 2,500 researchers across 70 plus institutes worldwide, equipping them with skills in scientific illustration, animation, and design. His work has ranged from eye-catching journal covers to detailed 3D animation that brings scientific processes to life, always combining creativity with rigor. So today he continues to inspire a new generation of researchers to view visuals not just as art but also as a powerful medium for scientific communication. So let's give a warm welcome to Mr. Rafeeque Mavoor. Also, I welcome our dear audience to this exciting session. So, Mr. Rafeeque has also prepared a short presentation for us that offers us a deeper look into his creative process and some of his projects. So, over to you, sir. Please present. Hello, sir. Sorry to interrupt you, but you are not audible. Yes, please unmute yourself.
Hello. What about now? All right. So, okay, thank you so much for a nice introduction, Kinjal. And thanks a lot to all inspiring minds behind the SciComm Synapse community
Thank you.
for organizing such a nice event on this weekend. I'm very happy that I get to share many inspiring updates from the last several years, which might inspire many of you to become a science illustrator or science communicator. So this will be a highly interactive session, but I will share many of the work, many insights. If anyone would like to become a science illustrator, because our country need more talented science illustrator every day. Even myself struggle to find many like enough science illustrators so that I could collaborate. So yeah, so that is there. And yeah, to begin with, I'll simply share a nice animation that I prepared for a lab at ISER Pune. Uh, this is just an example of the work that we do as science illustrators. So I think it was around 5 years back, one lab led by Professor Sai Krishna Kairat. So his lab found a protein which cuts DNA in a very interesting way. It was a very novel method that they found, and also they solved the structure of protein as well. So I saw that they were trying to make a video about the work, but when I saw the research paper, I saw beautiful figures which talks all the steps involved in cutting the DNA in the bacteria. So then I immediately thought, okay, we need a 3D animation to communicate that story, because that particular work itself took, I think, almost 5 years to complete, and the impact of that research also is very big, and it will be perfect if we have a 3D animation. So on a day-to-day basis, as science illustrators, we work with researchers, we work with companies, we work with startups, pharma. So they have some science. So we collaborate with them and we try to convert those into either images, digital images. Most like 98%, 99% of the work is digital. There are illustrators who work, with traditional media as well. I can show you a very nice example as well. Uh, so yeah, so it can be images, videos, animations, sometimes 3D models, sometimes a film. Okay, so without further delay, let me share one animation. So you can simply look at the visuals. uh, I hope the science might be slightly advanced, but uh, we tried to make it as simple as possible. So let me increase the audio. Let me play for a few seconds and let me know if the audio is coming through.
Do you know that just as we humans
Is it audible? Awesome. Okay, so I'll make it full screen.
are attacked by bacterial cells, even the bacterial cells are attacked by viruses called bacteriophages. And just as we fight this infection, the bacterial cells too fight them with specialized tools produced within the bacterial cells. These specialized tools, which protects the bacteria from an attack, are known as restriction enzymes. Restriction enzymes are protein molecules that cut any foreign DNA that enter a bacterial cell. They do it with precision without harming the bacterial DNA. Restriction enzymes are also commonly known as the molecular scissors. In the year 1978, three scientists, namely Werner Arber, Daniel Nathans, and Hamilton O. Smith, were awarded the Nobel Prize for their work in the discovery and characterization of restriction enzyme. A team of researchers led by Dr. Sai Krishnan Kairat, an associate professor at IISER Pune, has been successful in determining the crystal structure of one such restriction enzyme, type 1 SP enzyme. They are the first one to report its structure. The team has also shown the mechanism of DNA cleavage by restriction enzyme. In doing so, they have proposed a new model of unidirectional translocation of the restriction enzyme.
Restriction enzymes have been known for a very long time and they have been used in technology extensively. Genetic
Okay, so from here to almost 2-3 minutes, I'll share the link if anyone would like to watch. So we can simply skip to 2 minutes ahead.
Restriction enzyme consists of four domains, namely the target recognition domain, MTAse domain, helicase-like ATPase domain, and the nuclease domain. The target recognition domain recognizes a specific sequence on the DNA called the target sequence, and the enzyme then binds to it. Upon target recognition, the enzyme moves along the DNA. This is an energy-driven process in which the ATP molecules are broken down into ADP, releasing energy. This energy is used by the enzyme to move along the DNA. When two such translocating enzymes collide with each other, it forms a collision complex. The head-on collision complex displaces the MTA's target recognition domain, and the ATPase domain brings together the two nuclease domains. The nuclease domain is flexible in its movement. The to and fro movement of the collision complex leads to DNA cutting at multiple sites. The cleavage results in DNA shredding, which making it impossible for the bacteriophage DNA to repair the damage. In this way, the bacteria defends itself from the invading bacteriophages.
and in the laboratory, we are trying to
Okay, so this is Professor Sai Krishnan. This is his student who done most of the work. So as you can see, the entire story was explained using a 3D animation. Uh, yeah, so that is one example of the work that we do. It is a 3D animation, as you can see. We also can simply go through the tool, which is called Blender. It is a 3D free 3D illustration software, and I would like to show one more video, which actually changed, like inspired me a lot. I hope some of you might know the work of Dr. David Goodsell. He's a very famous, very well, he had done a fantastic job, over the several years, I think a couple of decades, illustrating molecular biology. So we know there are bacteria, viruses, cells. We also know there are molecules, proteins, polymers inside the cells, but we don't know how they look. So what he has done, uh, yeah. So this is Goodsell. What he has done, he developed a visual language using watercolor, using the regular watercolor that we all use. A very nice visual language to communicate all this crowded cellular biology. We know that inside a cell there are so many things, but to depict as an image is a very challenging task. It need to be scientifically accurate. It need to show all the elements distinctively. So he developed a very nice way to showcase all of them, and over the years it has evolved to be known among all the illustrators as David Goodsell style. So even several softwares has this as a default. If you switch to that style, so we can get into his way of representing molecules and cells. So we can have a look. I'm sure that this is going to inspire many of you.
My name is Dave Goodsell, and I've used a combination of science and art to help me explore the structure of cells. My goal with these pictures is always to be as scientifically accurate as possible. What I'm trying to do is to create a picture that would be what you would see if you took a portion of a cell and blew it up to where you could see the molecules. When I'm approaching one of these pictures, I use the structures from the protein data bank as my source materials. In the past 50 years, it's grown from maybe 7 structures up to hundreds of thousands of structures. I'm taking the individual pieces of structural information that have been determined by crystallography or whatever, and then integrating each of those and trying to build up larger and larger views of what the cell looks like. Basically, I use colors that I like. An illustrator once referred to it as an intuitive palette. I do anything I need to do to try to make the overall ultrastructure of these pictures as obvious as possible to the viewers. So this one has 2 viruses in the scene. This one is a cross-section of the virus showing inside here are the RNA strands that hold the genome. And then these little orange guys are the protein that's going to replicate that RNA strand. Outside here are the molecules that interact with the surface of the cell that the virus is going to infect. The beauty in these pictures is kind of an acquired taste, right? Because it's very organic and sweeping and blobby and visceral and all those things at once. I don't know that it's for everybody, but I try to capture the beauty of the forms and the beauty of the complexity in these pictures.
All right. It still gives me goosebumps because it is, for us, it's a beautiful drawing. but it is like most of them his life work. So the drawings that we see, uh, he's backed up with a lot of experimental data. Like whatever he's drawing here, you can see proteins, some filaments, some lipid bilayer, capsule, genetic material. So there are so many data, like scientific data, NMR, infrared spectroscopy, mass spectroscopy, IR. So many data need to be verified to make sure that all the things, even electron microscopy is heavily used uh, to create these drawings. So this is another side of scientific illustration where you can still use traditional mediums like watercolor, pencil drawing, charcoal to communicate science. So we are living in the age of digital communication. So that's why I started with the 3D animation. So yeah, so let me quickly share a few of my work to give you an idea how things are evolving. So uh, I myself completed masters in chemistry, but my minor was biology. So what I'm trying to say is, if you are from any stream of science, you can pick up, these digital skills. So if you would like to become a science illustrator, first thing that you would like to focus is uh, learn digital tools like Adobe Illustrator, which is a paid tool. Maybe I can show it as a simple flow chart, the path that you can take. So before that, let me quickly share a couple of examples. So for example, this drawing, this was created in a 2D drawing tool called Adobe Illustrator. So there are free tools as well. I can show you that. So you can see this is a detailed anatomy of a rabbit head. You can see, there are several layers, elements, bone. So we have added a very interesting texture for the bone. You can see there is eye socket and there is eye glands, muscles. You can even see a little bit of fur, and you can see the outside skin and everything. So this was an interesting project. This was done while I was working as a science illustrator at Joe Journal of Visualized Experiments. So there is a science journal only for science videos. They are very much active in India. So if anyone interested in getting a job, you can build a portfolio. Then you can even consider Joe. It's a very nice place to work as a science illustrator. And yeah, you can see a different view of the same. So how do we work, right? So in that environment, especially in Joe, there were a few people like who completed PhD, postdoc, and so on. They used to give us science images, reference images. So as science illustrator, us will go through all the images and we will draw and we will send them back. And they will give feedback, and we will improve, we will update, we will correct. And once they approve, then we will pass these images to animators. So they will make sure science is accurate. Also, as we are from a science background, we also can check if anything is wrong. That is a priority, right? Things has to be scientifically accurate. uh, then it will be passed to science animators, and they will create very nice animations. If you simply go to website of Joe, you can see very nice examples. I'm not sure whether we can see. So this is Joe's website. You can see, if you go to their website, on the top you can see a section called research education. uh, there are many animations. Most of them, yeah, are from molecular biology, anatomy, medicinal science, and so on. So I'm not sure whether any video will be playable, because these, yeah, let's try to play. Yeah, so it comes under a paid subscription. So as you can see, these are the videos that they make. Even one bacteria you can see here. uh, so universities, research labs, uh, pharma companies, they use these videos in their presentations, educational activities, and so on. So this you can consider as a educational technology company. So science illustrator work in all different parts, like research institute. I used to work at ISER Pune, ISER Tirunelveli. Joe is an edtech in academia, so you can consider edtech companies. Yeah, even many science outreach startups are there. Science communication startups are there in India as well as outside India. They all look for science illustrators. Even I can show you how to find jobs in science illustration. There are many jobs coming up on a day-to-day basis. Yeah, coming back to yeah, here you can see a cross-sectional view of human heart. You can see it is a 2D drawing. What I'm trying to say is you don't need expensive 3D softwares or anything. So what we use is a simple drawing tool called Adobe Illustrator. You could even use Inkscape. Inkscape is a free alternative if you want to right away experiment if scientific illustration is something for you or not. What I would advise, search Inkscape, Inkscape, and go to this website, Inkscape download, and simply download the Inkscape software, and you can straight away open it and use it to draw. Ink. Let me try to open Inkscape in my computer. Yeah, it's not installed in this. Anyways, so when you open Inkscape, you can see it is a drawing software, but I will show you Adobe Illustrator. It works similar way. You can draw advanced drawings. You can, create custom illustrations, icons, comics. Comics are a great way to communicate science. You can create logos. Yeah. So let's see how Adobe Illustrator works. So I'll type Adobe Illustrator. So it's a paid alternative. It is the go-to tool for creating scientific illustrations. If you are working as a professional scientific illustrator, Adobe Illustrator is the tool that you will use, more than 75% of the time. This is how it will look like when you open. I have opened it here. Yeah. So you can even see one of the projects that I was working on recently. I'll open one example and show you how it looks like. Yeah. So I would recommend first you start learning one of the tool, either Inkscape or Adobe Illustrator. If you think, okay, both are not at your reach, there is even a online version. Let me check. It is called Vector. Yeah, you can quickly share that as well. So first, let me quickly show you Adobe Illustrator. See, this is a canvas, white canvas. You can draw whatever you want, like rectangle. There are basic shapes like circle, ellipse tool, and so on. And if you want to draw something, there is a pen tool. Using pen tool, you can create, custom shapes like this. It might be a cell, it might be a parasite, whatever it is. It might be an organ. So you will draw some things like this, and you can fill colors. And there will be a color picker. So just like how I'm sure how you might have used Windows Paint. We all had our good time with Windows Paint at least once in our childhood. So this is an advanced version of Paint. You can even convert objects into 3D, basic 3D objects. If you go to Effect 3D, there is an option to convert 2D objects into 3D. Let me show you that. See that circle has turned into a donut shape. So let's try to edit it. So when I edit the shape like this, See, the donut shape is getting adjusted. So let me try to rotate it. See, you can rotate it like this. So this can be a red blood cell, right? If you modify it a little bit, this is one way to draw red blood cell. You have to work a little bit on the shape. We may not need this point. See, I'm simply adjusting the curve, and we are creating something similar to red blood cell. So this is not a 3D software, it is a 2D software, but it has interesting 3D features even like this. Okay, so you can note it down. Adobe Illustrator is our Swiss Army knife, but we also use Blender. So let me quickly share that. Stop sharing. And also we have been trying to make creating 3D scientific illustration as easy as possible. So there is a very interesting update happening along that line. I will share the details of that as well. So let me quickly share one interesting project. Okay, this will give you an idea how most of my work will look like. So this is a project which has been completed recently by Dr. Ashwati Babu. You can see few of the illustrations. So if you want to see the final output of the research, like as a drawing, this is how it will look like. So it is a detailed graphic which summarizes the research paper. So this is called graphical abstract. For a YouTube video, we have thumbnail. Similarly, for a research paper, we have a graphical abstract. So I spent a lot of time, making graphical abstracts. You can see. Let's try to understand what is the research is all about. At the center, you can see a person, look like a athletic person wearing a cloth. It looks a little interesting because it has really interesting lines, patterns. Okay, that is clear. Now let's see what it is trying to communicate. And there is an arrow or a line which talks about there is something interesting about the cloth that the person is wearing. So here you can see something called 3D printing. I know many of you have heard this term over and over again on all social media and videos. We can actually print things, right? So if you take this as an example, this is a plastic piece. But if you model this in computer and if there is a printer called 3D printer, you can load plastic, like a particular type of plastic as a wire. It will be melted and it will create this entire structure layer by layer, and you have something that you can use, which means something digital you can actually convert into physical using a 3D printer. So what they did, they used that same technology to draw some patterns, some lines on the cloth. So here you can see the 3D printer. This bluish color, cyan color, is actually the cloth, a piece of cloth. On top, you can see this golden color material is being added. So you can see the zoomed version of the cloth. You can see a zoomed version of the pattern. So in that pattern, they're adding the ink, right? You can call the material ink. So if the printer is the pen, the material is the ink. So they are drawing, right? So that pattern is very interesting. It creates energy. So when the athlete runs, because of that friction generated between the body and the cloth, it can actually convert into very less amount. I mean, not very high energy, but it creates electric energy which can be used in devices, in small batteries. So that is the summary of this particular research work. So this is a very recent research. So it is it is a view of what is happening in related areas. Then okay, that is happening. And on the right side, we have shown the applications. You can see some devices, a mobile phone, tablet, smart watch. So those can be powered using the electricity generated from the cloth. So assume that a person is going for a long marathon, maybe maybe 100-kilometer race. It does happen, right? So what they can do, they can simply wear this cloth, and they can charge their electric devices directly from their cloth, because they are constantly running. The cloth will generate energy. Okay, so I'm just trying to give you an idea how a complex research can be communicated through a simple visual. Okay, now going back to some of the images from the research paper, you can see a more detailed version of the uh, research. This is called a figure. You can see they create several different patterns instead of simple lines. You can see grid lines, you can see zigzag patterns, you can see curve patterns, and they are analyzing how they differ in performance and so on. So all this was created using two softwares. One you have already seen, Adobe Illustrator. You can also use Inkscape, which is free. You can see an actual photograph of the cloth. So it looks black, but for the easiness of communication, we have chosen light colors. Okay, and you can also see an actual microscopy image of those two. This is cloth, and this is the cloth with those ink pattern. Okay, all right. So I hope you got some idea how we work. So you can see in that project we wanted to create very different elements. One is 3D printer. One is how the ink is being added layer by layer. You can see layer by layer. You can see a piece of cloth on the top. You can see this pattern, and you can see another representation of the cloth, which actually works as a small electric generator, right? Okay, now I'll open Blender, which will give you an idea how we create these 3D structures in computer. By the way, if you go to blender.org, you can install this software, which is 100% free. Blender.org. Yeah, simply click on download. It will take you to download page, and click download Blender button again. You can see it is a small file around 344 MB. Simply click and it will get installed, and it is 100% free. It is open source. You don't have to worry about pricing, licensing, or anything. It is totally free to use for any purposes. Okay, and but don't underestimate, Blender is very powerful. Even professional studios use Blender because it can do pretty much many advanced things. As science illustrators, for our needs, Blender is more than enough. So in 3D, you can see the 3D printer. This is how it looks like. You can see a small piece of fabric. You can see the ink. You can see in 3D printer, we have some fan for cooling. And let's see the patterns. See, so these are basic cylinders. I stacked one after the other to create that pattern. And here you can see a grid. Again, here you can see a different version of that printer, basically only the nozzle. This is the pattern. You can see linear pattern is being created. This is the cloth. Okay. And this is another representation which we have seen how the ink is being added layer by layer. So that's how we create 3D figures, and how Blender works. It's a very interesting software. This is what I have been teaching regularly for almost 4 years now, where we conduct 4-day workshop. If anyone is interested in learning Blender, you can simply go to blender.SciDart.com, and we are about to start next workshop next week. So this is how it will look like. And See, so there are many elements. There is some noise, I think. Okay, yeah. So here I have turned on all the lights and everything. Now we will look through the camera. So Blender is like a photography studio where we have so many things. We can align the camera on any object that we want, and we can take a snapshot. Earlier we saw things like this. Everything looks gray, but I turned on lights so that we can see in its actual look. Now it looks more interesting because we have lights in the scene. All right, maybe if we have time we can see more projects. I think we have more things to go through. Yeah, so now you know how we create illustrations. You have some ideas. Let me go to another example. Okay. Here you can see slightly a different example. I mean, very basic example. Here you can see a piece of genetic material. See, this is a single-stranded RNA. But you might have seen many images online. If you go to Google and search RNA, see, you will see many things like this. So yeah, so it is same. Meanwhile, I wanted to quickly mention, we have seen Adobe Illustrator, but if you simply type vector.com, VECTR, it is a similar software, but it works completely on the web, on your browser. See, it is very powerful actually, and it has a very generous free version. So if you want to try it out, see, this is how it looks like. And there is also Vector P. By the way, this one is completely free. I think, excuse me, this can be a very good option. So I'll simply click on new project. See, there are stock images and so on. I'll click on A4, click create. See, similar to Adobe Illustrator, you have a project on your browser, but there are limits, which means you cannot save it if you want to work later. But if you want to get things done, or if you want to learn straight away, you can go to vectorp.com. There is pen tool, the same pen tool that we used in Adobe Illustrator. See, it is very easy to use, and you can change the colors, and the possibilities are limited, but you can see you can pretty much create even that rabbit head anatomy that we have seen. You can pretty much create everything in this software because you have pen tool, because that one was created 100% using pen tool. Okay. Yeah, coming back to this example. And this is a work related to gold nanoparticles. You can see this sphere. This is a nanoparticle. On the surface, you have some objects, which is actually they are decorating the nanoparticle with some other material. Mostly it can be a molecule, it can be a protein, it can be genetic material, and so on. You can see in this example, on the surface, we have those single-stranded RNA bound to that. So why we are using this? This has a very interesting application. You might have heard the name targeted drug delivery. Let me give you an example. So cancer-like diseases need treatment with chemotherapy, right? So we are injecting highly potent chemicals in our body. So it can actually treat cancer, that is great, but it can also affect other organs. So what if we could deliver that chemical only to the areas where we have this disease, cancer tissue? So this is an area like that. So what they will do, I'm just giving you the story in a very basic language. uh, it's a very fascinating area of medicinal science. So on the surface, you can see this genetic material, and also you have this nanoparticle. You can simply add this chemotherapy molecules on the surface, and all this genetic material will identify. So what you do in that chemotherapy drug, you add this nanoparticle. This nanoparticle will be covered with that molecule, but there are, if you go to the specific details, there are different elements to that, temperature, pressure, and so many things, solvent and things like that. Okay, once you load the medicine on the surface, this nanoparticle will travel through our body. This genetic material is always looking for points where it can bind. But this particular genetic material is designed in such a way that it will only go and bind to those cancer tissue. So what will happen? This will run around our bloodstream, and it will only attach to the cancer tissue. Once it is attached, it will release the uh, medicine, the chemicals to that cancer tissue, and all other organs and body parts are saved. And the remaining nanoparticle will be going out of our system, right? So that is the essence of targeted drug delivery. So it's a very fascinating area. So you can see different version of that. So in this one, you have a less number of genetic material, a slightly higher number, and in third one, we increase the genetic material. So yeah, so that's a very simple example for a uh, 3D illustration again. All right. So what we have been doing, it is an interesting update. I haven't shared it much anywhere, so I think you might be interested in knowing. So using 3D software can take time. So I have shared some of the sections as stories on my Instagram account. So what I've been trying to make it happen. Can we make creating scientific illustrations as easy as possible for anyone with so much of expertise in 3D or 2D? Can we make it very simple in a procedural way, which means we have been developing a simple tool which we named Lab Canvas. It is still under development. Let's see how it is getting evolved. Yeah, here you can see a simple demonstration. So this is a website like an application, which means it will work on web browser. So instead of creating everything from scratch, we have a starting point. For example, lipid bilayer. You can simply drag and drop. You can adjust some properties, and straight away, for example, the nanoparticle that we have seen now, it will take some time to create in Blender. But here you have seen it is straight away. You only need to move some sliders. So you can adjust the number of atoms, adjust number of surface ligands. So this is another example. Yeah, a lipid bilayer. On top of that, a liposome I have added. So it's an attempt. I'm not sure whether it will succeed or not, but you can see it is very responsive, fast, and you can see a graphene sheet. Graphene is a very it's a very like it's a material which has a lot of applications in energy, in all parts of the tech. It is being used. Yeah. So I will keep you updated if you are really interested. This is another, yeah. So how this works, right? So we were juggle between a 3D software and 2D software. So we have been trying to make it happen. Can we make everything together only for chemistry that we are trying to do at the moment? So you have seen we simply added a 3D graphene, just like that. We open a library, added graphene. With a single click, that 3D image got added into our canvas. So we have saved a lot of time there. So to create something like this and to add to a canvas, it will take from Blender to Adobe Illustrator at least 20 minutes. So here you can see it happened in few seconds. So that's the difference. So this is the direction scientific illustration is going in many other areas as well. It becomes easier and easier and more accessible. Here you can see another example. This is again similar to the nanoparticle that you have seen, another material called dendrimer. And we also added, you can see now it turned into more accurate, more realistic version. So it is still under development. Yeah, and here you can see we tried to make it similar to Adobe Illustrator, where you have, you can simply edit directly in the canvas. Yeah, and here we improved the loading speed and responsiveness. You can see it is very fast. Yeah, and in Graphene we added more updates recently. Sometimes we want to individually select atoms and delete it or add a different atom. It was a very tedious task when you go to Blender, but here you can see it is straightforward. So that is the direction that we are trying to go. Yeah, and I'll simply give you a roadmap for becoming a science illustrator. Many of you are really interested in knowing that. And if you have any question, you can ask me. So let's create a simple mind map. How to become a scientific illustrator. So when I started in 2016, there were hardly very few people in India. Personally, I tried to find as much as I could in India. I came to find less than 5 people in India. One was a botanist, one is a traditional watercolor artist, and one was a 3D artist. So at that time, scientific illustrator is illustration itself was not a well-known term. But outside India, there were many people. But inside India, there were very few. But today, if you simply go to LinkedIn and type for scientific illustrator, you will find many people from India, but not enough for the demand that we have from scientific research. To find a scientific illustrator might be easy, but to find someone who is really good at, someone who really mastered the skills is very limited. So which opens a lot of opportunities. It is not a straightforward path. It is an interesting path. It is a very exciting path. Someone who is so who should become scientific illustrator. So that, let me explain who should become. So first, I would say you are very interested in visuals. I mean, you are a visual person. Visual person. So we all have different tastes. We all have different preferences. So one pattern that you can see, it's not a general pattern, but personally I saw someone who is very good at mathematics, abstract algebra, linear algebra, integration, differentiation. They most likely will not be interested in visuals, like creating designs. It's a trend. It's not, I'm not generalizing, but yeah, if you are a visual person, like who always look for patterns, colors, forms, you find many people, like you have a tendency to find, okay, oh, I think this person is looking like that person. You immediately catch facial feature similarities. You find some objects, like from some patterns. You might be taking a walk on a tree, there is some pattern. You start to feel like, okay, that feels like a dinosaur trying to capture an helicopter. I can clearly see that. If you are that kind of a person, it is a good indication that you could become a scientific illustrator, because we rely so much on imagination, like how this could be, how this complex information can be communicated in a simple illustration or an image. So so this is something that I would say first. Then you liked to draw, right? it there are visual people, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you are interested in drawing. If you are really interested in drawing, then great. And also you need a strong background in science, preferably, and research. Background. The ideal way to do is by having a master's degree in either any stream, preferably chemistry, physics, or biology. Uh, but other streams are also fine. There is geography and many other fields, right? People are, by the way, people who can create geographical illustrations. I don't know anyone in India who does that. If you can become one, I can assure you that you will find many freelance projects, eventually a paid projects, because I get that inquiries. Maybe I can show you quickly what I mean. See, here you can see a nice example. This is a very detailed drawing of a cross section of Earth. So many things are happening. So here you can see another example, another example, another example. Someone from geography could pursue this path, who can really understand all the science of the earth, the soil, everything in between. Okay, background in science and research is a must. Then you are interested in digital tools. I mean, there are people who can't sit in front of a computer for a long time. It is by nature, like we prefer different ways of working. I personally, I'm totally okay working in front of a computer for several hours in a stretch. So you will definitely need to work with a computer. That's how we create. But you can depend on traditional mediums. If you are not planning to become a very professional in a company or a research institute, you can pursue SciArt, right? Still, you can still pursue as a hobby, as a passion. Then David Goodsell's work is a great example. His drawings going to be here for centuries to come, because he simplified everything as much as possible. So the impact that he has made is not small. Yeah. So digital tools, learn, willing to learn as and work with digital tools. Okay. Yeah. So these are the few things that you need. Okay. If you are confident about these things, then scientific illustration can be a good option for you. So it's a science plus art job, right? So make sure both are good for you. At least you are. And also one thing I would add, you are a continuous learner. Continuous learner. So we all have different ways of learning, right? Some of us learn something and try to stick to that and become better at that. That is totally fine. For example, business people, they have some philosophy, they try to make that work. They will learn, but the core things will not be changing much. But when in scientific illustration, things are always changing. Like tools are evolving, the way we create is evolving, even AI is coming. So AI tools are evolving very rapidly. So definitely going ahead, we will use AI in our work. Maybe we can simply give a prompt to ChatGPT to create a scientific illustration. This is ChatGPT, by the way. create a scientific illustration of of anatomy of a rabbit. Let's see how it does. There are limitations, but it does create usable scientific illustration. Many researchers are using illustrations created by AI, especially ChatGPT. Create a scientific illustration of an anatomy of a rabbit, 2D style, comma, white background, elegant, minimalistic colors, comma, low saturation. I don't want bright colors. I will simply add scientific illustration and image also as a keyword so that AI doesn't confuse whether it is supposed to create text or image. So I'll simply give the prompt and let it run. So let's come back. Yeah. Now coming back to the path that you should take to become scientific illustrator. First learn digital tools. So this is a summary that I realized over the past 9 years. So you don't need anything else. If you stick to this path, you can definitely become a science illustrator. It is not an easy path, but it is an exciting path. It is not. It is also not a very fast path. Something like a professional degree. Like for example, if you take a diploma in some for electronics or something, you straight away you could possibly join a computer company, for example, as a technician or something like that. It is not a path like that. Uh, it is a path that not so many people are taking. So you will learn so many things. So I would say you can start the journey alone on a side. So once you become confident, once you have a good portfolio, then you can switch to full time. So learn digital tools. I would recommend learn Blender. By the way, I'm not advertising my workshop, but I strongly believe that this workshop might be a great way to start um, uh, learning 3D illustration. So this is a landing page of the website where you can see some of the examples of 3D illustrations created using Blender. So it's a 4-day workshop. So next batch is scheduled next week. You can see several examples of researchers who joined the workshop, who like you, absolute beginners, created. And yeah. So coming back, learn Blender, then learn Inkscape, which is also again free, or Adobe Illustrator. Then learn Photoshop. The free alternatives: GIMP, Photoshop. Okay. So these 3 tools are enough to create advanced illustration. Blender, Inkscape, GIMP, all are free. These using these 3 tools, which you can pretty much create any advanced scientific illustrations. Okay, but if you have access to paid versions, Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop, then great. Then you need to build a portfolio. This is a must. This is an important part. Create sample illustration. Work for friends. Ask your friends, do you need any help? Or create images on your own for your learning and for portfolio building purposes. Take well-known examples. For example, anatomy of lungs, human lungs. If you are interested in biology, or if you are into chemistry, you can simply detail steps in creating graphene using exfoliation methods. I'm just giving you random examples. You can pick a popular science topic and try to create an illustration for that. How do you do that? Simply go to Google Images and type, for example, anatomy of lungs. See, there are several images, but I would recommend to go to BioRender. It is a software which is a paid software for scientific illustration for biology. If you go to their website, it is an expensive website, but they have a free version, which is enough for learning purposes. Create an account, go there, and there you can see icons. If you search there, you can pretty much create any well-known biological scientific illustration examples. See, you can see simply drag and drop, and you can see. Similarly, I simply typed anatomy of lungs biorender in Google Images, and you can see images from that website. You can use these images as references. Don't copy just like that, but during learning phases, I would suggest you to copy, take an example, try to draw just like that. This might be little complex for you in the beginning. If you think it is complex, simply type line drawing. See, you have now simple examples. For example, take this one. This is very basic, very simple icon of lens. Take this, right click, copy. I can go to Adobe Illustrator. So how much time we have left?
You shall continue.
Okay.
There's no time.
So,
Yes.
okay. So I'll try to summarize maybe in half an hour max. So yeah, so this is Adobe Illustrator. I simply copied the image from Google, and I'll come here and right click paste. See, you can do the same in Inkscape as well. So this is how I will start. So, okay, let's try to draw this as it is. So I can learn. Now I'm in a learning mode. I'm not in a mode to build a portfolio. While you are building portfolio, you should not copy, right? Like that's how it goes. But you can simply even copy by giving proper references if that image is reproducible. But I have created a very user-friendly, 100% free to use resource, which is called OpenScienceArt.com. It was an ambitious project. Now I had two of my friends helping me. It is now online. It is ready to use. It was published. OpenScienceArt.com. So it is a free library. You can even copy, modify, redistribute. It is a free library of scientific icons. I can show you the website. So basically the website means OpenScienceArt.com. So scientific illustrations which are free to use in your work. So when you are working as a science illustrator, you will get a project. For example, someone from a university approach you. Can you create a detailed diagram of how lungs work, right? Human lungs work, how oxygen is. So they might be doing some kind of research in that area. They might have developed some treatment method for pneumonia, for example. They want to show how their drug works so they want some illustrations related to that. So if you have something in your library, you can use that, or you can create something from scratch, or you can simply go to OpenScienceArt.com, and it is a very big library. Like now more than 500 icons are there. It will continue to grow. In 1 year, we are aiming to add more than 3,000 icons. We are looking forward to volunteers to help in that. So adding all icons one by one, naming them, labeling them, it is a very time-consuming process. It took almost 2 months to complete everything that is there for now. Currently, we were not continuously working. In free times, we were working. Okay, now we have this icon. So I'll simply use pen tool, and I will use a color. See, and assume that you know how a pen tool works. I will not recommend. I mean, I'm not taking time to explain that for now. See, it is a tool for drawing lines like this. Okay, so this is our go-to tool for drawing any shapes other than geometric shapes. So see, now I will simply try to trace that just like that, and I will continue that process with many other examples so that I can get comfortable with drawing shapes like this. Once you become a master at using pen tool, then things gets so much easier. So this is where I would start. First, master pen tool in Adobe Illustrator. See, I can adjust it. maybe I can draw this if it doesn't take more time. Okay. This is one way to draw it. There is another way. There is something called pencil. It is not recommended in most cases, but in this case, it can work. I think. See, I can simply draw. So I'm using mouse. But if you are really invested in this and you're really looking forward to um, become a science illustrator, I would recommend getting, not in the beginning, getting a tablet, Wacom tablet, bamboo. So I'll copy it. See, there are tablets. If you simply type, so there is a base version which is more than enough actually. Don't go for expensive ones, which is actually not required in the learning phase. It costs somewhere around 4,500, something like that. The tablet that I bought 9 years back, from the money that I got from the first paid project, I got paid 5,000 rupees. I bought that tab, which is still with me. It has some loose connection issue, but it does work. So very high quality work. Tablet, bamboo Wacom tablet. If you simply type this Amazon, you can find many examples. Go for the base version. Yeah. So if you have that, instead of using mouse, you can simply draw on that tablet. Whatever you draw on that piece of device, like a square device, will get drawn on the screen. Okay. So I'm simply using pencil. While I was working at Joe, I used the tablet, continuously. Actually, they sent a tablet as I was working from home. Yeah. See, I will not draw everything, but in this case, once you draw one side, you can simply mirror it other part. So that's the beauty of digital tools. I don't have to redraw everything here. Yeah, so that's where you can start to master pen tool in Adobe Illustrator, because not so many illustrators are really good at pen tool. It takes time and patience. It's not hard, it's easy. But if you are really good at pen tool, I can assure you that at least I will be interested in hiring you in future for some projects. Okay. Yeah. Portfolio. Choose a topic. Choose any topic in science which you are interested, and draw. Right. First, I already mentioned, do it for friends or colleagues. Ask your fellow researchers or any professor that you know if they need help in their work. So create illustration for them and get it published. Then you can have your name at least in the acknowledgement section of that paper, which will help in future. Then once you have enough number of illustrations, simply create a website using Google Site. Google Site is free, which is more than enough. You don't even need to go for expensive tools. Google Site, if you simply type Google Site, just like how you use PowerPoint, it is as easy as it is to create a website. See, when you go to Google Site, simply click on blank site. You can see a few examples that I tried. If you click on, yeah, my storage is full, unfortunately. Let me open one example that I have already created. See, you can simply add all the images here, and you can edit the website. That is also very easy to use. You don't even need at this point a domain address or something. So you can add all the images. Whoever is asking for your work, whenever you are applying for a job, you can simply share the link instead of see, here is another example. Another example of a website that I was working on. See, here you have a link for the website. You can use that. Or if you think that is also too much work, or if you think you are not uncomfortable, you are not comfortable with that, simply create a Google Drive, add all the images there, and share that link, non-editable link, with the people. That's all it needs. Okay, website, or uh, Google Drive is enough. If all people care about is seeing your illustrations, what you can actually do. I'm confidently saying this because I have many of my friends, four of them I can point, who took this path. They approached me. Okay, I just completed graduation. I'm looking forward to become a science illustrator. One specific example, she's working at IIT Bombay as a science illustrator. She took the same path. I suggested her, take a 1 month time, every day create an icon or illustration. She's interested in biology. She started creating one illustration per day. One day she will illustrate human lungs, another day she will illustrate the cross section of kidney. So by the end of the 30 day, she has at least 30 or at least 25, for example, or maximum 30 illustrations that can be added in her portfolio. At the same time, she has improved her illustration skills a lot. At the same time, I also suggested be active on LinkedIn. Um, I would call it show your work. Don't be shy. Even if you are learning, document the journey of learning. People would be really interested in knowing how you are going about it. In the early phase, less number of people will be joining. That is totally fine. But progressing, when you are progressing, the same people who have been following your work, when they have a requirement, they will definitely reach out to you. Okay, I have this project, I want to illustrate, can you help me with that? So it's not then it will evolve into freelance projects, right? So it will lead into show your work on, importantly, LinkedIn. So don't shy away from showing your work. It is absolutely fine, even if illustrations are not great. Simply mention what you are doing. Like today I tried to illustrate cross section of lens using Adobe Illustrator. These are the things that I learned, or these are the things that you can keep in mind while starting to use Adobe Illustrator, because you just experienced that. So people who are interested in knowing that will follow your journey. Yeah, LinkedIn and Twitter, these are the two platforms researchers roam around, right? We need to show our work where our potential audience, future customers, future employees are roaming around. These are the two platforms. I can say you that every week I do get freelance project requests on LinkedIn. Can you help me in drawing this cover art, this project? So what I do, I have reached a stage I'm not able to handle that many number of projects. So what I did, I created a simple website, um, SciCommTalent.com. Created a simple website called, oops, sorry, I'm sharing the wrong screen. Yeah. I created a simple website called SciCommTalent.com. If you would like to see more science illustrators, you can simply go here, check out their LinkedIn. If you need, I can post the link in the chat box. Now what I do, instead of every time I get the request, what I used to do, I will go to LinkedIn, I'll search for this person, this so and so person, and I'll try to grab their portfolio link and I will send to them. See, you can reach out to her or him and ask if they are available. Now what I do, I send this link and I'll ask them, see, this has so many talented illustrators. You can simply check out their work by clicking on their portfolio. See, for example, here you can see Annette Shalom Rakshana. She is a medical illustrator. Her portfolio website is linked here. You can simply click on that. I hope it is functioning. Yeah. See, this is her portfolio. You can see very nice illustrations she created. So now you know what her capabilities are. You can read about her journey, work, education. You can also contact her. So this is a simple one-page website. First, I created to solve one of my problems. Then it evolved as a small community of Science Illustrator. You can see Neeraja Desai. She's a very skilled illustrator. She even worked at Science Journal, the top journal in science. Her work is just blowing. Uh, you can see very nice illustrations. Let's see here. So, for example, this one, I can confidently say that she used Adobe Illustrator, most likely 100% for this project. So that's the go-to tool. More work. See, you can see these illustrations looks very simple. That's why it takes a lot of talent and effort. You can see many other examples. She has very other interactive uh, projects which are very interesting. You can check out. And oops, yeah, this is her portfolio. I think I missed to share. You can check out her work. This one is very simple graphical abstract. You can go to about section and read about them, how they became, right? Like being an Indian, how she managed to get into top science magazine called Science, like Science Magazine, which is a dream for any science illustrator. Maybe you can reach out to her on LinkedIn or Twitter. And you can see Sindhuri. She joined our Blender workshop. Then she started working as a science illustrator. You can check out her portfolio. And she's also a mother. She's trying to manage everything, learning, motherhood, and freelancing. So you have very different stories. Ruti, yeah. We have people from Europe, US. Excuse me. You can check out their work as well. Isha worked at Byju's, at a company Byju's. She used to supervise animations and things like that there. If you are interested in knowing what they are currently doing, simply go to their LinkedIn profile and all the updates will be there. Isha Parlikar, scientific illustrator, motion graphic designer. You can see a screenshot of one animation she might have worked on. See, you can see one 3D illustration that she created from our Blender workshop. This is also an example from that. Yeah, she is currently working as an associate scientific art editor. So these profiles will give you all the opportunities in scientific illustration within India as well as outside India. Gobi Krishna, he's a very talented scientific illustrator. You can simply check out his website. His website is also very nice, which is subunit.studio. See, these are the illustrations that he created for different journals, various institute, pharma companies, biotech companies, startups. You can see a very nice animation he created in Blender. Yeah. You can see the institutes that he worked. He currently working from home as a freelance and illustrator. So that's the flexibility of the job. He can be with his son. He's a very young boy and manage his freelance work. We both have been in touch very frequently. I redirect many of the requests to him because I know once I send someone to him, he will do a fantastic job. Yeah. So, yeah, coming back to this, yeah, for inspiration, I will mention SciCommTalent.com. For portfolio, I will mention OpenScienceArt.com. If you want to see that, maybe I can show you quickly. By the way, this is OpenScienceArt.com. This is a library for free scientific illustrations and 3D models. These both projects are just voluntary projects. If anyone interested in contribute in assisting volunteering, you are always welcome. to reach out. You can see various icons, illustrations. So these were collected from different libraries available online, which are free to use, but not so many people know about. What we did, we are trying to bring everything together under one umbrella, very easy to use, easy to access website. And we are also uploading our work here. And there is, you can see a submit section where researchers or any artists can simply upload their file and contribute to the library. So this is how it will continue to grow. And you can see there are many nice icons. If I simply click on this one, download, it has downloaded that icon. You can see it has very high quality. Okay, now coming back, you can see we are also uploading 3D models. There are only two for now. You can see two of them, a nanoparticle nickel form. If you click on this quick filters, you can filter all the things here. You also have a powerful search option. You can categorize them based on category, subject, license, file type. Blend is for 3D, SVG is for 2D. And there is also one powerful editor, which is again 100% free to use for drawing molecules. You can simply click here and draw bonds and chains and everything. You can add atoms like this, and you can select the atom, the molecule, and optimize the structure, and simply click on save and choose the file format as PNG image format, and simply click save. It has downloaded an image file. By the way, this was only possible using a paid tool called ChemDraw, which is a free alternative for ChemDraw. You can check out it. Okay. And something we are very happy that we could manage to do. There is something known as download more. There is a section. By the way, Wikimedia, like Wikipedia, there is a library of images, videos, 3D models called Wikimedia Commons. We found that not so many researchers are using it or aware of that. So what we did, we connected that library to Open Science Art. So if I now simply type cell, it will give you so many images. See, all are very high quality images. If I simply click on it, it will open it. And you can simply click on view on commons. It will take you to that Wikimedia page where you can read all the details about that icon. And coming back here, you can also see citation. So all the icons here are not 100% free. You need to check licensing, CC attribution. If it is CC0 public domain, and search again, all these examples are free to use. You can see, for example, this illustration of cell membrane. Many researchers will find it useful, are free to use. You can see there are 800 plus pages, which means thousands of images available under CC0 public domain license about cell. See, for example, this bacteria illustration. This is high quality illustration in a different language. You can open it in Adobe Illustrator and edit it, or Inkscape. See this one, actually plant cell. So this is a right way to get scientifically accurate illustrations, which are free. Yeah, always remember openscienceart.com. Okay, I think that is a very useful library that you could use. And if, by the way, that request that we have made to ChatGPT to create an anatomical drawing of rabbit has completed. This is the output. I can tell you that it is not 100% scientifically accurate, but it gives you some starting point, right? How the visual style can be, how the colors can be. Those details you can take inspiration from this, but I will not recommend you copying it as it is. But for example, while you are creating a drawing, you need something. You are creating some detailed drawing. You need a tree. You need a table. You need a glass beaker. You can simply ask ChatGPT. So I'll simply ask, create an icon of a battery. See, your research is around energy storage, batteries. So you need an icon of a battery. You can comma. You can simply mention transparent background, so that it will give you a transparent background. So I'll simply type scientific illustration, comma, symbol, 2D Adobe Illustrator style. So let it run and we can come back later. See, so that's all it takes. Once you start showing your work, you will build your network. This is actually applicable to for any other job areas. This is how I became. But always getting a degree in scientific illustration is an option. There is masters available, but it is expensive. If you have flexibility of joining for a course, masters, that is the best path you can take, because it can save you time. It can help you build connections. It can also give you visibility to your work. In essence, it can give you an environment to learn, and also it can save a lot of time. If I took 4 years to reach at a point, you could have taken only 2 years if you have completed master's degree. Okay, but it is expensive. I think I have written an article about that. If you go to our academy website, if you go to resource blog, click on scientific illustration. Yeah, 10 scientific illustration courses and programs worldwide. So this is a good summary of all the programs available now. Yeah. Okay. So network is your, net worth. There is a phrase. I believe it is absolutely true. Network will give you freelance projects and as well as job. Both job that I had recently, one is at Novo Nordisk, a pharma company, where I worked for 1.5 years. I got it through LinkedIn. Before that, I worked at Job, Journal of Visualized Experiments. That also I got through LinkedIn. If we have time, maybe I can show you how to get a job through LinkedIn in 2 minutes. Then once you have a portfolio, once you have done few freelance projects, then start applying for job. Because if you have a portfolio, that will speak for itself. Maybe I can show you how I got a job at Novo Nordisk. That all actually took sending my portfolio. When the hiring manager saw my portfolio, he knew what are the skills that I have, and he realized, okay, using these skills, he can get the job what he wants to done. So I got into a interview call next day, and I got hired through regular process later. But if you go through traditional, way, going to the website, applying for the job, most likely the automated system itself will reject your application. But I got I got to connect with the hiring manager directly, and so that's the power of having a portfolio and a network. So LinkedIn is the best place to do that at the moment. Okay. Yeah, apply for jobs, and then things you will learn on yourself, and you will figure out things by yourself, but always keep learning. And if, yeah, by the way, the request that we gave to ChatGPT, it made a simple icon. The good thing is you can simply click on download, and it gives you a transparent image. You can place it in Word document or PowerPoint. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let me quickly take you to LinkedIn. Maybe that will sum up all the things that we have been trying to learn today. So as a freelancer, one of the regular investment for my time is to be active on LinkedIn, to network with the other people and write about the things that I learn, the things that uh, the projects that I work on, the challenges that I go through. So simply write and see, these are the posts that I make. So when people see these posts, um, I get freelance projects, uh, I get invitation for workshops. I even got, as you know, 2 jobs through LinkedIn. So here I post I made recently illustration softwares for researchers. You can also write about it, or you can write about the things that you learn. See, this is a very simple carousel post. You can see more than 400 people have interacted with post, more than around 50,000 people, like 50,000 times the post has been seen. So that's all it takes. Through only this post, I got a couple of personal messages asking about my courses, freelance projects. That's how it goes. Okay. So write about the things that you are interested in scientific illustration. And another tool, uh, uh, I just documented how to use a tool called Napkin, a video. And also recently I have done a podcast. So there is a graphene sheet. So there are very basic sliders you can adjust to control its size, breadth, number of layers.
Amazing.
And okay, so you can see what is actually happening
And
on
for
a day-to-day
example,
basis. I'm trying to document. So that's all it takes. People would like to know. So when you are leading, try to document. Uh, so which, see, I made a small animation video. Actually, one of my friend who is also with me, he made a video. We together finalized it and posted it on LinkedIn. So it is about openscienceart.com, which is live, and an image of a workshop that I did. So now I want all of you to make rethink about personal branding, networking, because it is an integral part of a career in scientific illustration. Yeah. By the way, talking about jobs, you can see here there is a jobs section. Uh, if you simply type scientific illustration, by the way, you need to have a good portfolio to start into applying job. I would say if you are totally decided, okay, this is what I want to do, as my career, take 6 months. I believe it only takes 6 months to get into a phase where you can get hired. May not be for very advanced projects, but to get hired as a science illustrator, uh, if you go through this roadmap. Here in job section C, in my locality, there are few job roles that I could potentially apply to, because LinkedIn knows what I am interested in, what the type of that I might be fit. So based on that, it gives me suggestions. One good option, C, graphic designer, Xylem Learning. It is one of the famous, like maybe one of the top, maybe the top edtech company in Kerala, in my state. There I could potentially work as a graphic designer. Great suggestion. I could find that job suitable for my skills, because I get to create maybe animations, illustrations for +1, +2 science topics. But possibilities are limited because it is in my locality. Change that to maybe worldwide. uh, you know I'll clear and I'll change that to India, and I'll, yeah, search again. See, in India there are 227 results. Yeah, all your questions, let me know. I'm almost done with the demonstration now. Everything is Q&A. See here, there is a need for a content creator for at Joe, the very exact company that we just discussed, where I got to work. They need a content creator. It is a perfect job for a science illustrator. Let's see what that job is all about. About the job, Joe is okay. Responsibility: develop detailed scientific scripts and storyboards. Okay, this is for more of a scientific writer rather than a scientific illustrator. But you can reach out to this person. Look at the job and look at who posted the job. For example, here Ritika Cole. Reach out to them. Most likely they will not respond because they get hundreds of DMs every week or every month. So it is very hard, but let's give it a chance. Just like how I did for No One Notice. I didn't expect a reply, but I actually got hired there. See, Cactus Communication. It is a well-known scientific communication company in India. It's a international company with thousands of employees all across the world. They are looking for a science communicator on contract. See what they are asking for. And technical artist at Inventia Healthcare Limited. See, these kind of jobs used not were not there like a few years back, but very interesting to see that in the industry is very rapidly evolving in India. EdTech, pharma, health, um, medicine, uh, uh, research, all these are people are looking for scientific illustrators. Manager, scientific writing, isometric illustrator, technical illustrator. You can see 5 days, 4 weeks, 1 week, 1 month. In this month itself, there are several roles. When you have a LinkedIn profile, all it takes is single click of a button. Most jobs have this option. If I don't want to apply for this job for now. She might wondering why he is applying here again. If you click on easy apply, but what will do? Your profile from LinkedIn will be sent to that company, and they can simply interact with you directly. So I did like that, a couple of years back for a position at job. That's all I did, and I got an interview call. Okay, if you go through this route uh, on a day-to-day basis, if you invent time in learning regularly, I strongly believe it will not take more than 6 months to get into a position similar to this and a beginner level role. Okay, but you need to keep on continue learning. Now going to the chat box, Akash is asking, is the masters online or offline? So I don't think there are any online degrees in scientific illustration as of now, but you can go to Coursera. I would say this is a good starting point. Graphic design. There is a good course on Coursera, which is actually graphic design specialization. It is not a master's degree, but it is a uh, bundle of 5 courses, which will make you a very good graphic designer. We all, as a scientific illustrator, need to become a good graphic designer first, right? Then we blend in the science and research. So this you can attend for free. If you enroll, I think there is an option still available. You can apply for a financial aid if you are still studying, so that you don't have to pay. So which is great. And but the courses can be attended for 100% free. That all we need, right? We want to learn. We don't want to actually showcase the certificates anywhere, but it can help us. Having certificates can help, but portfolio speaks 1,000 times better. So this is a course which has one focusing on fundamentals of graphic design, which I did, which very much helped me personally as a scientific illustrator. An introduction to typography, introduction to image making, ideas from the history of graphic design, brand new brand. So this is also very good course because as a scientific illustrator, you will be working with companies, startups, pharma companies, products. So if you have that branding expertise as well, then you can really charge them a good amount of money, because you have very unique blend of skills like branding, uh, scientific communication, scientific illustration. So those kind of people who can do marketing for science backed companies, science backed startups are very low. If you can combine science and art, then also marketing, then it becomes a very unique blend. I can assure you that if you become good at that, you will find many companies to work with you. I can show you many. Yeah, okay. Okay, that's about it. And coming back to next question, Agash is asking, how many months to apply for a freelance job if I give 40 hours a month into learning and free working. It all depends on how fast you make your portfolio. Once you have a portfolio, I can show you my portfolio. It is under uh, uh, I mean, I'm rebuilding it, but few things are completed. My portfolio is Rafeeque.com. It may have few examples. Yeah. So on the main page, I simply added few images from some of my works. I'm still working on it. My older portfolio used to be on Wix. I migrated to a new platform. You can see some clients that I want to work on, just to show my past record of working with few institutes. And yeah, these are three areas that I mainly focus: illustrations, animation. Then I regularly run workshops and courses. Yeah. Let me go to maybe cover arts. So you can see a few examples of illustrations that I did for various research papers. So someone visiting this will find, okay, this work is related to mine. So let's hire him. Okay, so this work, I know this research paper and the lab. Okay, then I can simply contact him. So add a contact page. Maybe you can also add LinkedIn. So you can see the website is still under development. Okay. So once you have a portfolio, you can start applying for the jobs. If you think, okay, if someone is approaching you saying that, okay, can you create my research paper into an illustration? If you are confident you can do that, you can start apply for a job. Akash is asking, does SciDart have a remote internship option? At the moment, we don't have offline. We have, we have off at the office internship, but it is still in very limited number. Two internships have been completed successfully, but online we might need help in managing openscienceart.com. In return, I can help you in learning. So that is pretty much possible. If you are really interested, I can also give you access to one course on scientific illustration as a return. So you will get to help us in maintaining and growing openscienceart.com, and in return you can learn scientific illustration, and I can help you. Maybe we can design something, maybe like as a 45-day internship, something like that. So I have added my email in chat box, rafeequemavoor@gmail.com. If you are really interested, I will be happy to hear from you. Yeah, I think that's it. If you have any questions, let me know. I think we have tried to answer most questions. Let me quickly scan through the questions if I have missed anything. Mm, mm, mm. Do you start a project with science concept first or with an artistic vision? So my work is always associated with science. So I make the science clear as first, then I go to design. How do you decide with which medium, painting, installation, digital, etc., best expresses a scientific idea? So I always go with digital because that is my primary medium. So always I work with researchers or companies. So it is always sticking to either medicine, materials, energy, and so on. How do you, next question, how do you see SciArt shaping public understanding of science? Absolutely, it is one of the best medium to communicate science because visuals are universal. You don't need a language. It inspires, it quickly communicates. So we have done several workshops for even students, even elder audience. So everywhere people find science fascinating when we communicate through animations, images. Okay. Next question, what's the most challenging part of translating abstract scientific ideas into visual form? Challenging part is always in making it as easy as possible, which takes a lot of decision making, right? So when you work on a scientific project, there are so many details. We don't want to put everything in the image. We want to decide which is the key element, which is need to be shown in the image, which are the parts that we can omit in showing the image. So it's a lot of decision taking. So that is not challenging, I would say. That is time taking process. That is an intensive process, where you decide, okay, you finally you come up with a rough sketch pencil drawing, then you go to a digital tool, then it's easy, like as you are skilled illustrator. Okay, but yeah, that's it. Okay, next question. How do collaborations with scientists influence your creative process? Yeah, it's not a one-person project, right? It's always a collaborative project. All the illustrations work that you have seen, most of the credit goes to the research group or the researcher that I have got to work with, because their feedback improves. We start at something, but at the final product, final image or animation becomes so much better, so much refined, so much improved, only because of the feedback that they give. So it's a highly collaborative teamwork. Uh, Next question. Where do you see SciArt evolving in the next 10 years? So now we are in a very interesting phase where AI is getting into these tools. So try to learn about AI tools, how they are evolving, how we can create images, videos with AI tools. Because at some point in time, at some point in time, we will have to integrate AI in our workflow. The right time to start is now. Simply go to various AI image generation tool and give some prompts about science and see how they are giving results. ChatGPT is the best that I have seen so far in coming up with illustrations for science. It can create wrong icons, scientifically inaccurate, but with prompting you can improve it. So learn that. But augmented reality, immersive experience is also evolving. We have done a workshop at ISER Pune on augmented reality for scientific illustration. Uh, uh, yeah, maybe I can share you a couple of resources. Oops, I'll simply type. We have documented that in detail. Yeah, I have a very small YouTube channel where I have created one video. So all of you have titled "How to Run a Science Communication Workshop: Augmented Reality in Science." This is an emerging area where instead of creating animations or videos, you can add these goggles, right? Where you can see a new world. That is virtual reality. What is augmented reality? It is slightly different. Maybe I can share the link. Some of you might find this interesting. So we conducted a workshop for students. You can see there is a piece of paper. On top of that, a simple drawing is there. What they are doing is at ISER Pune, augmented reality app development for science festival. See, they scan an image and they see some image, video, 3D model inside the mobile screen. That is called augmented reality. You are bringing these digital files into the real world using a device, using a simple app developing technique. The another thing which you wear this goggles on head, which is called virtual reality. You are actually transporting yourself into another world. Here we are bringing some digital elements into our world. Okay, so that is a difference. So these are the highly evolving areas because of AI, because of generative AI. Instead of creating these elements ourselves, now we wear a goggle. We can imagine that we are inside a human body. Everything will be generated in dynamic. We tell to the Google, okay, show me the anatomy of uh, a mitochondria, and you will be transported directly to mitochondria because AI can generate the visuals. So that is an evolving area. So in this workshop, you can see the students are scanning a can be to communicate research paper. See, as a science illustrator, there is an image, but in the screen they can actually interact with the image, and who has worked closely with see all the veins of a cross section of a tissue. The Science Media Center at ISER Pune, I have seen firsthand how challenging it can be to communicate complex science. And we also conducted a treasure hunt. where I pasted some random image here and there. They will find those, and when they scan, they will find some scientific 3D model with their app. A 3D model or you can see a mitochondria right on their screen. It could be a 3D model of a mitochondria was there, and yeah, that was an example of a augmented reality project. Now coming back to yeah, so you can see that workshop itself, bring people together. It makes them excited. It opens up new possibilities for them to learn and explore their interest. So yeah, using science and art in your education and everything is very powerful way. Um, so next question I have already answered. Are there emerging? Okay. Um, Last one, if resources were unlimited, what would be your dream SciArt project? So the one that I have already mentioned, I would create an app or a virtual reality app which you can get transported into human anatomy. I think the most fascinating object or the element in this universe is human body. Yeah. Okay, so that's all. Yeah, I think we have a few more questions. Neha is asking, can you share the sample work which you have done for Harvard University as mentioned in your portfolio? They have been your client. I mean, there would have been very high quality illustrations. So most of them are PhD students reaching out to me for their various projects. So I don't think I have posted this in the portfolio. That particular example, that was something related to quantum dots. So some of the work cannot be shared. Like there are works uh, which I could have shared later because I should have made sure that got published. Then I can share in my portfolio. So some of the work I miss or I don't get time. So many works like many research illustrations, if I simply revisit them and check on the journal if that has published, then I can simply post it here. So that particular work was related to quantum dots. Can you see? Yeah, you can see some examples. These are not highly complicated illustrations, but simple illustrations related to nanomaterials. By the way, if you want to more idea about Blender and 3D illustrations, I do post tutorials on Blender on this channel called SciDart. Here you can see few tutorials on 3D scientific illustrations. I'm trying to become more active recently. Let's see how it goes. So this is another tool. Yeah, you will find more upcoming tools, technologies. So this is an AI tool used to convert text into flowcharts. So see, gelsoline activation cycle. You can simply paste inside that paper, and you can see this tool, and it will convert that into a flowchart. You can use it straight away in your presentation, thesis, and so on, project report, and so on. Yeah. Agash is asking, do you think science communication has opportunities just to be a science communication speaker, orator, explainer? Yes, of course. Scientific illustration is a one branch of science communication, but you can absolutely become a scientific communicator. One thing that I remember when you asked, there is a program, Science Media Communication at a London, Imperial College London. One of my close friend who actually graduated from there. Science Communication MSc is there. Science Media Production MSc is also there. These are different branches of science communication. Science communication will primarily focus on what you have just mentioned now, being a presenter, being a workshop facilitator, being a course creator, being a manager, managing science communication outreach projects. So those kind of jobs you can get once you complete this masters in science communication. You will heavily work with writing, documenting science research. And the other one, science media production, this is more focusing on creating videos, animations, and so on. So more of a journalism, like, for example, uh, uh, Discovery Channel, National Geography, these kind of media outlets need people who has this background. I know, by the way, people who got hired from Imperial College London at National Geography and Discovery Channel, BBC do hire here. So my friend, he is currently working with few agencies, and also is uh, uh, he also started his own uh, startup. His name is Kirti Raj PS. Yeah, this is his LinkedIn profile. The exact track that you, by the way, there are other universities also who offering masters in science communication. Next question. What are the ethical, Neha is asking, what are the ethical considerations in modifying or stylizing scientific diagrams? So that's what I mentioned in openscienceart.com. We need to be careful about licenses, like elements which are available under public domain CC0 can be edited, can be used without worrying about licensing credits. But simply go to, for example, simply search and it will give you all the details. If I go to, there are other websites as well. For example, bioicons.com. It is a website again. It doesn't have any licensing information. Okay, let me go to SciDraw. SciDraw is a website. Let me check if it has any licensing information. No. But you can see they have given the citation, how to cite each element. And if you go to the details, you can see the citation details. So yeah, so there are different types of licensing. I will type different type of licensing, CC. See, if you simply give a Google search, you can see about CC licenses. So you will find all the details here. CC by, what is that? CC by SA, CC by NC, read about it. So some license will say credit must be given to the creator. Only non-commercial users of the work are permitted. So there are different licensing. If it is CC0, credit need not to be created. You can even use it for commercially. You can sell, to your clients and so on. But other licensing, we need to be careful. Also, when you work for a university, they will also give a document to sign, transferring license, the rights and so on. Yeah. These are, Somalia is asking, these are YouTube questions. Okay, there is one more question. Which motivated, inspired you to choose a career in scientific illustration apart from chemistry, as this is not considered a traditional stable career? So I was always a design illustration person when I was doing my master's at ISEP Tirunelveli. I used to create logos, t-shirt design, designing a club for a bicycle club, creating logos for that. Yeah. So when I completed graduation, I came to know that, okay, there is a field known as scientific illustration where people could work. Actually, I created a 3D model for my professor when I went for asking a referral for PhD application. While I was creating that, I came to know in one of the blog scientific illustration as a career option. Then I went back to my professor with that 3D illustration, saying that I think I decided not to do PhD, rather become a scientific illustrator. I think this might be a best option for me. And professor said, okay, that's a good choice based on your background. And he gave me a small position in his group as a technical assistant, where I got to work with him, Professor K. George Thomas, for 2.5 years, and he supported me with various projects he gave me, and he also supported me with a small salary. So where I got to work, and I also got to work with other professors, and where I built my portfolio. So that is a best way to do. Talk to any professors that you know, ask him if you can work with them, helping their lab and their colleagues creating illustrations. You can ask for if a project can be designed for you, so that you can get paid also to support your expenses and learn as much as you can, get images, illustrations published as much as you can for various projects by collaborating with other groups. uh, Somilia is asking, these are YouTube questions which were on YouTube. Thanks. Okay. Neha is asking, okay, if one start to learn digital tools for illustrations from his or her bachelor's and master it for 6 months, then would they able to get work in their bachelor's? Yes, actually, you can. It all finally boils down how good is your portfolio. In principle, you don't even need a bachelor's degree right after +2. If you have very good skill, you can get freelance projects. All it takes, actually, I have recorded a 3-hour workshop. If you reach out to me, I can give you access, exclusively focusing on scientific illustration as a career. You can simply go to fiverr.com. Here, create a profile. Once you have good number of illustrations, post them here. Here, if you simply type scientific illustrations, here people don't care about whether you have completed masters, bachelors, or anything. All they care about your examples of work that you have done. When I simply typed scientific illustration, you can see there are people. Tasnia Tarana, let's see her profile. When you look at her profile, these are examples of work that she has done. See, simple icons, educational drawings. She's getting paid for that. Uh, See, there are 235 reviews, which means I assume there might be more than 500 clients she got to work with. So she didn't mention about her background, or I mean courses or anything. All she did is listed what she can do, what are the type of the work she can work on. She gave a price for different types of works that she do. 3 tiers. You can see one complex illustration. She's charging a very decent amount, and there is also revision. So this is another place where you can get freelance projects, create good number of illustrations. Go YouTube and search for optimizing Fiverr profile. If you simply list your images, it cannot work, because when people search here, you want your profile to be shown. For that, we need to do some SEO optimization. The text that we use, the text that we type, need to be optimized for various queries. I think I also listed my profile sometime, but I haven't done any project here. Yeah, it's not active. See, based on your skill, based on your expertise, you can get work from here. See, there are illustration people listing from Blender, Adobe Illustrator. See, very basic illustration. See, she has 8 reviews. Or he has 8 reviews. These are not very complicated illustration. If you have an iPad, you can create illustration there. So many teachers at tech companies come here and hire people. Uh, there are people who work full time as well. See, this work is done. This is a very highly complicated work. These are very simple PowerPoint type illustration. Okay, next question by Neha. If one start to learn the digital tools for sci illustration from his or her bachelor's and master. Yeah, okay, that is done. Akash is asking, what was your most exciting and challenging illustrator, or one you're proud of the most illustration? So one I'm definitely very happy about is the animation that we created a couple of years back. Uh, that I remember with very, because the experience was also great. Uh, yeah, that 3D animation was one of the exciting projects that I got to work on. And but currently the software that I'm trying to build to make everything as easy as possible, as accessible as possible, and also as affordable as possible is what I'm really excited and happy about, because we solved many of the challenges so far in that software. One is cost. Biorender is very expensive. Second is accessibility. You don't need to install anything. Third is, for in India, as Indians, we don't have a software, from scientific illustration, which we can be proud of. I, with my team, are trying hard to, create a tool from India, which are possibly used by all these leading institutes and researchers. Yeah, that is something that we are very excited and make us work every day. So you can see, even someone who only use biorender templates, biorender we have already seen, is working as a illustrator. See, she don't create Zainab, she don't create anything from scratch. All she does is use the templates available in biorender.com. I'll add the link. I think we can conclude the session if we have exceeded our time. Biorender.com, I have added the link in the chat box. She only use these templates, and she's creating work for various people, and she is getting paid for that. See, she has 8 reviews. She's a level 1 seller. Based on your experience, number of projects that you do, you will get uh, um, uh, increased. Your rank will get increased. You will become level 2, level 3. Yeah, so have a look at all these freelancers, what they are doing, what type of project they are creating, how much they are getting paid. So you will get so much confidence. So but I would say, if you are really interested in this freelancing, create few icons, illustrations in 2 weeks time, and maybe 5 of them, and create an account as early as you can. You can also list biorender, for example, as your skill, right? So people are really looking forward to that as well, to hire. So you can have some presence on Fiverr, so that your profile will get matured. New profiles, old profiles, they get ranked differently, so that don't have to wait. Okay, I think that's it. Uh, if we don't have any further question, we can summarize. I think I hope I didn't take too much of time.
No, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Rafeeque, for so beautifully showing us like how art can be a powerful medium for science storytelling, both in traditional as well as digital forms. We truly appreciate the way you walked us through the creative process and introduced us to the impactful tools like Blender, Adobe Illustrator, to all these websites that can be really helpful to all our viewers. And I understand it's clearly a journey that does not just require creativity and vision, but immensely does require passion as well as patience. Yeah. So I personally found it very inspiring, and I'm sure many of our viewers will carry this inspiration forward in their own paths. Thank you once again for your time, your insights, and sharing your passion with us. So I would like to, conclude this conversation and this session. And before that, to wrap up, we'll request all our audience member to please fill up the feedback forms. Your suggestions help us to these sessions to be more engaging and relevant to you. And lastly, I'd like to take a moment on the behalf of SciComm Synapse. I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to Mr. Rafeeque Mavoor for joining us today and sharing his inspiring journey. This was our first session for SciArt, Kala Tattva, and series, and I believe that it was the best way to begin. Your passion for empowering researchers and making science more accessible to illustrations and animations was very impactful. And thank you to our audience for their active participation and enthusiasm. Thank you for your time and patience once again, Mr. Rafeeque. We look forward to many more conversations at SciComm Synapse. This is Kinjal signing off on behalf of SciComm Synapse. Thank you once again for and have a wonderful day. Thank you.